There's an absolutely massive squeeze happening across the board right now for all of cryptocurrency, and we're getting ready for a very large move. Especially on the altcoin chart, I want to talk about a 13-month long squeeze, what this could do to the price of cryptocurrency as a whole, and also take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of the news that we have happening right now, because there's a lot to unpack going into the weekend. So if you are interested, make sure you stick around for the entire length of the video, as we have important information discussed the entire way through. And welcome back to the channel. My name is Brendan, and it's great to have you no matter where you are from. So let's go ahead and take a look at cryptos across the board, because we are red around 5 to 6% across the board today. Bitcoin is down about 4.5%, Ethereum's down about 5.5%, and the altcoin markets are, sitting in that same range as well. There's very few cryptos that are green on the day, but there's still a lot of cryptos that are green on the week, which is something that I think everyone needs to take note of. Waves especially up almost 96.5% on the week. Thorchain up about 67% on the week, and Zcash up about 14% on the week. And so as we scroll through here, we can see that there are quite a number of outliers really. Anchor Protocol is another one of them, up nearly 50% on the week and still up 10% on the day, despite most cryptocurrencies being down. Now, when we go over to the Bitcoin chart, I want to talk about this, get into the news, and then come back to the chart here and talk about this massive squeeze on the total too, and also on Ethereum. But Bitcoin is a little bit different. It's less of a squeeze and more of just still struggling with this former support turned into resistance. And this is something that we talk a lot about on Crypt Nation, and I've gone into this already in a lot more detail over there. But former support on Bitcoin is now being used as resistance 1, 2, and 3 separate times. But the good news here is that it has a climbing level of support that we've used 4 other times. And so this is really one of the key areas that I'm watching out for Bitcoin. What are we going to do at resistance? How are we going to react to it? And also, how are we going to react to support? Now, before we get into this massive squeeze, let's look at what's happening in the news, because there's still a lot going on. There's a lot of really bullish stuff that I think people are kind of just glancing over when they see what's happening in Europe right now, and they forget to look at all the other news inside of crypto. So, billionaire Bill Miller shares his current crypto outlook, and it's very bullish for Bitcoin. Now, he talks about everything that's happening over in Europe right now, and basically, he talks about the financial situations. What do the reserves look like? How much of crypto are they holding? How much of gold are they holding? How much of fiat are these countries holding? And then he goes in to explain why it could actually be a very bullish situation for Bitcoin. And he has a couple of quotes in here talking about how Russia is holding 22% in gold, and then also saying that particularly he thinks that this could be a very bullish outcome for Bitcoin. And I think he's right, because when there is uncertainty in the markets, you want something that's not going to get turned offline, that's not going to get blocked, that's not going to get disabled, and that's the decentralized solution that cryptocurrency offers. And that's what we're seeing, is that some of these countries in Europe right now are actually transacting more in cryptocurrency than their national fiat, which is crazy. First world countries, second world countries that are now resorting to cryptocurrencies as their primary means of transaction and business, and they're seeking out crypto as a safe haven in these hard and unassured times. So I think this really does go back to the idea of cryptocurrency is a safe haven. And Charles Schwab files for a cryptocurrency economy ETF with the SEC. Now, this is not new news. So many different financial institutions have tried to file for ETFs. Do I think it's going to massively impact the market if Charles Schwab gets this? No, I don't. I think so many other people have done this. I really don't see this as any kind of major impact. Sure, it's cool. Sure, it shows that major financial institutions, even very traditional ones, can file and want to get into cryptocurrency. But at the end of the day, is this market reversing news? Not really. It's just a cool sign that more traditional institutions want to get into cryptocurrency on a more normal basis. So, is this good news? Absolutely. Is it market reversing news? Probably not. But let's go ahead and talk about this massive squeeze happening over on the altcoin chart is really just cryptocurrency across the board. So in order to understand this, we have to look at the total two, which is the representation of the entire cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin, aka the entire altcoin market cap. So what we can see is that we have a resistance going all the way back to November. We rejected this once, twice, 3 times. You could argue 4, 5, and even 6 times over here. So all the way down, we have had a very consistent resistance line for all of November, December, January, February, and now even going into March. So a near 5-month-long resistance line. And as we zoom out on this daily chart, I want to kind of get my face out of the way over here. We can also see that we've had resistance playing out since all the way of February and even January of last year. So we've used this as resistance time and time and time again, going all the way up to our current point of where we are at now. So I want to move this over to the 3-day so we can see this just a little bit more clearly and holistically. And my initial thoughts here are, okay, well, if we have a 13-month-long support converging and squeezing on this 5-month-long resistance, and we kind of can view this really as a channel of sorts. Why? Because we go from support to resistance, back to support to resistance, back to support. And so now my initial thought here is, okay, well, the logical step in history for Bitcoin here is to go back to resistance, right? And so the key area that I'm looking at is saying, okay, well, Bitcoin, or really all of crypto, is squeezing in this area. We can see that support is converging onto resistance, and how Bitcoin has been squeezing is it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until ultimately this pressure builds up so much that it's going to break out in one direction or it's going to break out in the other. And so I think watching what happens over the course of the next month on Bitcoin is going to be, or not even Bitcoin, all of crypto is going to be really, really telling in here. And so if you want to stay tuned and follow me and follow my thoughts on this, join Crypt Nation. There's a link to that in the description down below. It's a great place where I do all my technical analysis in a lot more detail. And again, I talked about this way before I even upload this video on the YouTube, so you get all my information first on there, and again, you get it in a lot more detail. But we're talking about big squeezes on crypto. That is a absolutely massive squeeze, as it goes back to almost 13 months ago when all of this pattern started. So if we're seeing a big squeeze on something like the altcoin market cap, well, we would expect to see something very similar on Ethereum, and that's exactly what we're seeing as well. In this downtrend with crypto, using former support as resistance just time and time again, we see this downtrend happen, and now we have a very beautiful pennant or symmetrical triangle forming on Ethereum as well. And so if we're highlighting this, we can see that after the initial breakdown, we went from resistance to support, from resistance back to resistance again before touching support and then resistance. And now Ethereum is squeezing until ultimately this guy breaks down, much like the total 2 or the altcoin market cap chart. So there's a lot of resistance here and support to look at for not only Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. So I think a really large move truly is coming that people need to be prepared for. You know, whether that's to the upside or the downside, we're gonna wait and find out. Now, let's get back into the news over here. 75% of investors in emerging markets want to own more cryptocurrency. They want more crypto. I think this is a very telling sign that there are still a lot of buyers in this region. People, institutions, and as we talked about, even billionaires are bullish on crypto. They think that it's undervalued at this point. Otherwise, they would not be saying it's bullish. They would not be saying that they're buying more. But instead, we see all of the opposite of that. There's still a lot of financial and retail and institutional money coming into crypto right now because a lot of people truly do still believe that it's undervalued, which I firmly believe as well. So this is, still another very bullish article for everyone. There's a lot coming out, right? We have Ethereum 2.0 to look up to. We have a lot of solutions that are coming out for cryptocurrency, and also just the way that it's being used right now is really, really unique because it's never truly been used like it is right now in the world. But also, we actually have Manchester City's soccer club signing a deal with the crypto exchange OKX. Now, I believe it was somewhere down here, it talks about this being a $27 million a year deal, or excuse me, this follows the local rival Manchester United's sponsorship deal with Tezos, and that one was valued at about $27 million. Now, if you've been following the channel at all, you know that we've been talking about how cryptocurrency in the sports industry are going hand in hand right now. Cryptocurrency has loved the idea of partnering with the sports industry in a number of different ways, and that's what we're seeing. We're still seeing that happen in North America, we're seeing that happen in Europe, we're seeing this happen all across the world. Whether it's buying these big stadium centers, partnering with basketball, UFC, NASCAR, soccer, there's a million different sports partnerships going on right now. So keep your eye on this. Cryptocurrency really does like to enter into this sports industry, and it seems like there's a lot of drive ultimately behind it. Now, our final piece of news today, Terra's Anchor protocol erases its crypto winner losses as the ANC price rebounds over 300% in less than a month. So if we want to take a look at ANC to the USD, we can see that ANC Anchor protocol is absolutely ripping. If we want to go back even farther than that, we can see that this crypto winner that it had going all the way, if we want to actually measure this out, when it topped out at roughly $4.50, it fell all the way back to $1.29, which was a loss of 71 to 72% before going on an absolute ripping of over 317% to the upside. Now, I just want to let everyone know, obviously Anchor has done a lot of really good things here. They have reason to be moving upwards, but just as fast as this happened to Anchor, it can happen to a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are doing very well. So we saw how fast Anchor can reverse from a crypto winter, and don't forget that the entire cryptocurrency market can reverse just as fast as well. And I think when the crypto market ends up reversing like this and people get caught with their pants down trying to say that the new crypto winter is just beginning, and then we see a reversal like this, there's going to be a lot of people caught with their pants down. Now, maybe that's tomorrow, maybe that's a week or a month or a year from now, but when this happens, you're going to have people that are perma bearish and they're not going to believe it. And then ultimately gains like this are going to happen. The crypto market losses are going to be completely wiped off the board. And you're going to have people that were too greedy to get in. They were too convinced that we were going to go lower and too afraid to buy in. And ultimately, those are the people who are going to suffer the worst here. So let me know what you guys think about the crypto market as a whole. Clearly, this is uncertain times. We're kind of just ranging in between support and resistance, but that big squeeze is coming. So I want to know your thoughts. Are you bullish on all of this? Are you bearish on all of this? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, consider subscribing and hitting that like button, as it really does help push this video out. Share it to someone that you think needs to hear everything that we went over, and let them know all the good news that is happening in cryptocurrency so that they can stay up to date as well. As always, guys, check out the links in the description down below. We have a conference coming up. It is completely free, and we're interviewing some of the leaders in the industry. I'm going to be one of the hosts that's actually going through and interviewing these leaders in the industry. So if you want to see it and join it and watch it online, there's a free link to it in the description down below. It's going to be between March 8th and 10th. There's going to be a lot of cool panels over there, and you're going to be able to discover some projects that you may have heard or you may not have heard before as well. And don't forget to check out Crypt Nation. There's a link to that in the description down below as well. But as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.